Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in South Sudan. They assume it is just about filling a few forms and launching a business. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real challenge is not the idea, and not even the money. It is understanding the legal structure, approvals, and how the system actually works in practice. If you miss one step or submit incomplete documents, your registration can be delayed for weeks, or even completely stalled. But here's the good news. Once you understand the exact process, starting a company in South Sudan becomes predictable and structured. It is not random. It follows a clear legal path. In this guide, you are going to learn everything step by step. From choosing your company type, to registering legally, obtaining tax identification, opening a bank account, and staying compliant in 2026. And in a minute, I'll also show you the most common mistake foreign investors make when entering South Sudan that silently delays their entire setup process. Let's start from the beginning. The first thing you need to understand is that South Sudan's business environment is still developing, which means company registration is heavily document-based and handled through official government offices. This makes accuracy extremely important. There is very little room for incomplete submissions. Everything must be correct from the start. Now, before you register anything, you need to decide your company structure. Most entrepreneurs in South Sudan choose between a limited liability company, a sole proprietorship, or a branch of a foreign company. For most serious businesses, especially those planning growth, the limited liability company structure is the most practical choice. Let's make this real. Imagine Alex, an investor from Kenya, wants to start a logistics company in Juba. He does not want personal liability exposure, and he wants to hire staff and scale. So he chooses a limited liability company. That decision shapes everything that follows. But here's where most beginners make a mistake. They choose a structure without thinking about long-term goals. That creates problems later when expanding operations or bringing in partners. So always start with clarity. Now, once you choose your structure, the next step is company name reservation. Your company name must be unique and approved by the Business Registry Authority. You will usually submit multiple options in case your first choice is already taken. Now here's where it gets interesting. Name approval is not only about availability. It also depends on compliance with naming rules. Some words may require special permission, or may not be allowed at all. So if John, a foreign entrepreneur, submits a name that conflicts with regulatory guidelines, his application may be delayed even if the name is technically available. That is why it is smart to prepare several name options and keep them simple, professional, and compliant. Once your name is approved, you move to one of the most important stages. Document preparation. This is where most people fail, because they underestimate how detailed this step actually is. You will typically need identification documents, shareholder information, company address, and articles of association. The articles of association is especially important. It defines ownership structure, management rules, capital distribution, and how the company operates legally. Think of it as the foundation of your entire company structure. Now let's take another example. Sarah, an entrepreneur from the UK, prepares her documents quickly using a standard international template. But when she submits it, it gets rejected because it does not match local legal formatting requirements. This is a very common issue. This is where most people lose time. They assume international templates are accepted everywhere. But in South Sudan, local compliance matters significantly. So the smart approach is to ensure your documents are reviewed by someone familiar with South Sudanese business registration requirements before submission. Now, once your documents are ready, you submit them to the Registrar of Companies. This is where your business officially enters the legal system. But here's the problem. Submission does not mean immediate approval. Authorities may request corrections, clarifications, or additional documents. And this is normal. The key is to respond quickly and accurately. Delays usually happen when applicants are unprepared for revision requests. Now, in a minute, I'll show you a simple preparation strategy that can significantly reduce back-and-forth delays during company registration. After approval, you receive your certificate of incorporation. This is one of the most important documents in the entire process. It confirms that your company is legally recognized in South Sudan. Without it, you cannot proceed to tax registration or banking. Now, the next step is tax registration. Every company must register with the South Sudan Revenue Authority. This ensures your business is officially recognized for taxation purposes. Once registered, you are issued a tax identification number. This number is required for invoicing, contracts, and financial transactions. Now here's something important. Many new business owners delay tax registration because they think they are too small to be taxed. That is a mistake. Without tax registration, your business is not fully operational. So always complete this step early. Now, let's talk about business licensing. Depending on your industry, you may need additional permits. For example, construction companies, import-export businesses, NGOs, and financial services often require sector-specific approvals. This is where things can become more complex. But here's a simple way to understand it. The more regulated your industry, the more approvals you need. So if Alex is running a consulting business, his process may be simpler. But if John is importing goods or operating in logistics, he will need additional permits. Now let's move to one of the most critical steps. Opening a corporate bank account. Without a bank account, your company cannot operate properly in the formal economy. To open a business account in South Sudan, you will need your registration certificate, tax number, identification documents, and company details. Banks may also request proof of business activity depending on compliance requirements. Now here's the problem many foreign investors face. Banking procedures can take time due to verification and compliance checks. So the key is preparation. The more complete your documentation, the faster your approval process. Now I want to pause here and highlight something important. Many people think company registration is the final step. But in reality, it is only the beginning. After registration, you enter the compliance phase. Compliance means maintaining your company legally every year. This includes tax filings, license renewals, and updating company records. If you ignore compliance, your company can face penalties or even suspension. So long-term success is not just about formation. It is about maintenance. Now let's talk about foreign ownership. South Sudan allows foreign investment in many sectors, but some industries may require local partnerships or special approvals depending on regulations. This is not a barrier. It is a structure. Many international businesses operate successfully by forming proper partnerships. Now here's where it gets interesting. South Sudan has growing opportunities in construction, logistics, agriculture, energy services, and trade. These sectors are still developing, which means early entrants can benefit from less competition. But opportunity only works if your legal setup is correct. Now let's walk through the entire process clearly, so you can remember it easily. First, choose your company structure based on your goals. Second, reserve your company name. Third, prepare legally compliant documents. Fourth, submit for company registration. Fifth, obtain your certificate of incorporation. Sixth, register for tax and obtain a tax identification number. Seventh, apply for industry-specific licenses if needed. Eighth, open a corporate bank account. And finally, maintain annual compliance. That is the complete roadmap. Now, let's make it even more practical with an example. Imagine Ahmed, an entrepreneur starting a construction company in Juba. He chooses an LLC structure. He prepares several name options. He gets approval. He works with a local consultant to ensure his documents are compliant. He submits them and receives feedback for minor corrections. He updates them quickly and gets approval. He registers for tax, applies for construction licensing, opens a bank account, and begins operations. This is how the process works in real life when done correctly. Now, here is the key insight. The difference between success and delay is preparation. Not money. Not connections. Preparation. Now, before we finish, let's quickly summarize everything. Starting a company in South Sudan involves selecting the right structure, reserving a company name, preparing compliant legal documents, registering with the company registry, obtaining a certificate of incorporation, registering for tax, securing required licenses, opening a bank account, and maintaining ongoing compliance. If you follow this process step by step, you are not guessing. You are building a legally structured company in a developing and opportunity-rich market. And now you have a complete roadmap that most beginners never get. If this guide helped you understand how to start a company in South Sudan, make sure to like the video, comment your questions, and subscribe for more clear step-by-step international business guides that simplify complex legal systems into practical action.